Okay, so we're back, and we left things where we did an ingest of photos from your card to the um, your your drive in a folder, and now we're going to go through the next step in the process. And what you'll see here is we're in Photo Mechanic 6. We're in the box that says ingest at the top. That's the name of the folder that we place this in. If you want to check and see, wait, where are we? Let's go into our Finder, and we're going to go into where we think we should be, which is Forensic on Road. We're going to see the projects in here, and here's the word ingest. Here are the files that were uploaded. So they are now in here. I shoot in RAW, and but if you shoot in RAW, you'll get both the CR2 files and the XMP files. I'll show you how we're going to fix that later in the process when we're in Lightroom to simplify that. But you also see we also have in our folder the revised metadata template that we created. But again, you can see, okay, basically there's 30 items, but really, this is the same as this. This is data about this. This is the actual file. But so we have 15 photo files in here, but we have 30 data files because there's one. The XMPs are just some information that is linked to this information. Excuse me. So we know everything's over there. It was a clean upload or ingest of folders. Now we're going to go through the next step in the process. So you can see we have 15 pictures in here, and we'll see here that they were assigned. You also see we're also on the left dialog box. We're in this right here. So you can see that word ingest, which matches right here. If we were over here, that's actually this folder up here, which there isn't anything because we put it over here. You can close this just if you're somebody who likes to keep things clean. You can close out those kinds of folders. You can change the size of the images in this box. So you go, okay, here's all the pictures, all as one. You have an ability to have your sort, which is, I always tend to use capture time, but you can have them by file names or any other thing you want to work with. But right now, I really do want to have them under capture time, because if you have them by different dates that were still on the same card, that's going to be relevant here. You have, just don't hit the reverse. You're back, and if you want to look at things backwards, there's my two dogs. This is Ted. He's 8 months old, and this is Murphy. She's 15 years old. So they got a little action in here. We're going to show all the images right here, but if you happen to have tagged some images in your camera while you're shooting, going, oh, I want to use these right away, you could just show just the tag photos. I didn't do any in this case, and they would come top and just be showing. So let's say you had a rush job and you wanted to get something out and you tagged in your camera because it was such a great shot. That's a quick way to sort. But I'd rather not. Here's all the ratings, which we're going to deal with in a little bit, and then there's a color coding system. The first thing I'd like you to do is to rename these photos. The photos that are named right now have a naming convention that comes out of a camera. So if you've imported from an event from more than one camera, you may have some that have something that starts with an A and numbers, or you might have I, you might have all these different. Each camera has its own convention of how to name photos. What we want to make sure is that we are always renaming all of our photos that go into the system using the same convention. This is critical. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to click on the first one. We're going to go Command all. So we've now highlighted all the images in this folder. We're going to go to File, Rename Folders. Now what we have here is something that's wonderful. It's an automatic system that will convert your names from, for example, this is what was in your camera, to showing the date, the original file number, and then a sequence number. So I always like to use sequence because sometimes we just want to give ourselves some cues. So first of all, we don't want to use these numbers, the old numbers per se alone, because we can have duplication, and I know we've all run into that. What we want to say is, wait, let's do a sort, and we need to find some pictures, but oh, it was that event that was on such and such date. Well, when we have the date right there as a name, file name, we're able to get to our pictures so much quicker and do sorting. So for us to be able to convert each photo automatically at once, we just go and set up this photo string. In this case, it's year, month, day, file name base, and then sequence. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So, but I do want to make, so you could just take sequence out and that sequence wouldn't show up. But I like using sequence. And I also like every now and then set sequence variable. Right now, it's going to always keep going on and on and on. But when you try to do it each time, sometimes you forget. It's no big deal. But try to remember to reset to 0. It's going to start at number 1 for this set. Again, it's the last number on here, but you just know. Sometimes it's kind of nice to know that you have all your pictures before you've done any editing, and you're going to start at 1, and you're going to know at the end when you do the click the button, it's going to tell you how many pictures you shot for that event, and yeah, from that upload or that ingest. So the way you set this up is you go to variables. So if you don't have it in your system today, so I'm going to clear this right now because we don't have it. Oh, I'm always getting nervous doing that. I'm going to do this just to make sure. I'm going to go to variables. Here you'll see a list of variables that are giving you the option. And I don't really know why they have what order or what groupings they have. But here I always look under the time, this time one right here. So look for, and these are alphabetical, so look for year. I use the year with the 4, it's again, it's 2022. If you have year 2, it's going to be just say 22. But the naming convention that's the best that I've learned from the pros is use the 4 number. So you basically click on that. It automatically just put it in there. I'm just duplicating what we already have here. But it's going to automatically put that in there if you want to take it out because we already have it there. Immediately after that, okay, I'm going to be bold and I'm going to take this part out now. Okay, so year 4. Next one is going to be month 0. So for example, it's going to be, let's say, that means January is going to be 01. If you have just month without the 0, it's going to be month 1. But it takes up different number of digits then. So 12 is going to be 2 digits and 1 is going to be 1. Well, I like to have everything kind of uniform, so just use the 01. And then day, same thing, day 0. The next thing you want to put in here is file name base. So basically, I got to find out where that is. That's where I never know, or I only set this up once in a while. Here we go. File name base. So file name base is going and saying, okay, I'm going to use what's in the camera, what the camera assigned to it. I don't know what the other one, how the other one works, but again, just double click on it and it's going to be there. I already had it there, so I'm just going to delete it. Again, if you see down here, you want to make sure you eliminate any kind of little. I have one dashes in between there, just a simple dash. So just push the dash so you've got separation. So you have the date, a dash, now you know that's the file name. And then again, sequence. So we're going to go down here, find where the sequence is. It's alphabetical, so just is I'm not even seeing it. If you don't see it, maybe you'll see it. You can always type it in. But when you type it in, just make sure, well, you could also just put the sequence piece. Yeah, sorry. Just hit sequence. It automatically does that. And again, set means you're going to start with 0, 1 in this situation. So, so you now have an automated system that is going to rename your folder, your files from what came out of the camera to our convention that we're using. And once you have all that set up, don't worry about these other things. I don't even know what they do. Just click rename. Now, boom, done. So now you have all of your files automatically renamed. Huge. Let me think if there's anything else that I need to cover here. That's it. Okay, so right now, again, we have raw files. We have not done any color correction or editing, or all we've done is to provide some sense of organization and have them in a form that is ready to be go into some type of more editing processing and post-editing. So with that, that could be Lightroom, Photoshop, other types of things, which I think I would have to say they're critical. We really don't want images that are used. But I forgot one step. Actually, the next step we're going to do here is now we're going to, okay, now that we've done, okay, now we're going to do the sorting process. So right now we have our 15 images that we took pictures of. Again, they're all in raw form right now. But let's say we don't want to, and maybe in some situations you might have 2,000 pictures that were taken from an event. Let's go through and do some quick selecting of images to see if we want to take them forward. We really, this is a very heavy load and we want to reduce the number of pictures when possible. Right now we have select all. I'm going to unselect all by just clicking outside of any of the pictures. If we want to look and see if we want to keep certain pictures or not, think of it this way. It's more efficient and productive to think, what do we want to keep versus what do I want to throw away? So try to think about whether they're keepers. If they're not a keeper, by default, we're not going to keep them and they will become trash. But don't think about, is this trash? It just takes longer for the brain to process that way. Just think, oh, is it a keeper? So to do that, we're in the ingest file right now, and we can double click, and we can go through the process and scrolling with the bottom of your arrow key on your dashboard of whether you want to keep pictures or not. You could just scroll, 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 and it'll keep on wrapping around what you've already done. So I'm going to go to, quickly I can see, oh, file numbers are up on the top. I'm going to start where it says, first one is number 1. And go, okay, well, you know, that's, if we want to have a picture of grass, we're going to, some kind of a grassy plant, we'll keep that one. So I'm going to give it a 3. A 3 is going to all of a sudden give it this color. So I'm going to go back, give it a 0. So you're going to give it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but no, don't waste your time. Give it a 3, it's going to give it an orange, or don't give it anything. There's only some exceptions to this. One is if you think, oh, okay, so let's just talk about what those colors mean. 3 just means it's superior. The only ones I use is a 3 or a 1. And so it's basically saying, am I going to keep this, or is it like super? And I want to make sure this jumps above the pack. So I'm going to, I only use these two in this process. Don't worry about the trash, because whatever you're going to do, it's going to be either a 3 or it's going to be a 1. So here's the 3. Next one. Okay, maybe it's a 3 because we want to show this bush or something, and we'll work on it. 3, 3. Let's not keep this one. I don't like that picture, that background, so I'm not going to give it anything. But I like this one. 3. Okay, now I've got 3 in a row here. I go, wait, which was the best of those? Because I really only want to keep one to work on more later. Not great. I did a little too much shallow depth of field. But let's say of those 3 of them, I'm going to give that a 3. In fact, let's say I really like it. I'm going to just give it a 1. So you can see on the bottom, gave it a different color. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes, so you can see how to make sure you don't lose your best shots by messing up and only selecting to keep certain ones. Okay, that's not a keeper. Look at poor Murphy, and she's out of focus there. Oh, none of them are in focus. Oh, Murph. But you know what? Sometimes we go, well, it may not be a very good picture, but it's the only picture we have of Murphy or of a student. It's not the best, but we really want to have at least one of that. So let's just keep it and figure out later whether we're going to use it. But we don't want to say, oh, we don't have any of her because we messed up. And I did mess up. So, and then here we got Ted, and say, ah, that's one we like the best. So I'm going to go back, close this box here. Now you can see that you have colors assigned to each of these image files. And you can see some of them are 3s, and we've got one that we gave the 1. Again, you can see these are related to the numbers that we gave, and it's the 1s, 2s, 3s, and for example. So let's say, okay, let's get rid of trash. Let's get rid of the ones we don't want anymore, because that's really important. Get rid of extra stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the ones we want to keep. So we're going to click on purple. Okay, the purple one's gone. It's being hidden right now. It's just being hidden. It's not gone. It's just out of this screen. And we want to hide the 3s. Okay, so basically what we have left is what we don't want. So we do click on one of them, do a Command All. Now, one of my favorite things, we have File, Delete, or Command, what is it? Well, if you're not used to doing it, it's one of those things where you forget what you have to do, what you do until you just do it. But delete. Are you sure you want to delete these? Yep. They're gone. But look, these are still here. These are the keepers. And the others are in the trash. For now, if you go, oh my God, I accidentally put it, I didn't mean to throw something away. You cannot undo this, but you can go into your trash. I think you can. I don't even know. Yeah, sorry. And you can see they're still in the trash. So if there's some reason that you threw something wrong away, you can still get these back. But here's what we have left. So now, again, in the ingest file, you have now what's just the keepers. And they are basically ready for the next step in the photo processing process, workflow process. When you're done with your work, you can just close Photo Mechanic. And you're done. The next step will be how to take these pictures into my situation. I like to use Lightroom, and I'll show you how to do that.